Do I spot a Sakura? Also, why am I talking so quiet? It's not in the middle of the night. Hi, Sakura. Hi, Alice. It's been ages since I've been streaming. I know I miss you too. I've been away. Like not away. I've just been busy. I gotta place myself somewhere else. I've been working, which means I have to sleep early. I have not been busy with Twitch at all. Like when I say I've been away from Twitch, I've really barely spent any time on Twitch. But I'm coming back. I promised myself I would come back to streaming this year. and it's January, so I'm coming back, and there's going to be a couple small changes. I hope you can hear me, by the way. There we go. Also, I look so big now. Like, well, I'm not gonna stream any games today. It's more of a talking stream, which is fine. It's just more like, hey, I'm coming back. This is what's gonna change, and this is what you can expect to start very, very soon, as in less than 2 weeks. Plus, I just want to say hi to people. I've missed streaming, but you know what? Let's start with why I've been away. The first part is personal reasons, some stuff on my mind, which was before summer, and then after summer, I finally got hired by my job. And with that, I had to work more days. I had to work earlier, and with how much my work changed, the new stuff I had to learn, I just did not have energy. The moment I At the very beginning, the moment I got back home from work, I just ate dinner and I lay down on bed and I fell asleep. That's basically the first month or first month and a half. I just had no energy. Work was that exhausting. Plus, having to socialize for 9 hours at work. I had no energy to socialize online. Or to have another 4 hours of talking on stream. And that's why I basically stopped streaming. Except for D&D and some collabs. Also, thank you. Also, Happy New Year to you too. I had a good New Year. It was fun. I did not have vacation. I had to work. But yeah, I was too tired from work. And by the time I had more energy, I threw myself into let's say, I don't want to say a small project. I don't feel like it's a big project, but it took up a lot of my time. It took up many days that I was free, or most of the days actually. And today I'm kind of ready to talk about that project and show it. Oh, and not to forget, I've been reading a lot of light novels for the past couple months. I probably read like 2 or 3 of them in a single week. I could finish a single light novel in a day. In September, I even like read more than more than 300 pages in a single day. That's how addicted I was, which cost part of the inspiration from a big project. That one was Ascendance of a Bookworm, which is basically a girl who got isekai'd into a medieval world. And she loves books, but books are only for nobles. And there's some magic, but not much. And she's small and young and frail. she doesn't have superpowers. Her only superpower is her knowledge from the stuff she read in books. And I absolutely love it. And after I finished that light novel, which is 33 or 40 books in total, I can confidently say that Ascendance of a Bookworm is in my top 5 best Japanese light novel stories that I've read. The next one I want to read is Apothecary Diaries. So I'll show the project in a minute. It's D&D. So for those that have followed my channel, they know that I really like D&D. I'm currently in a campaign called Into Darkness with Kitty and Mim, Metsu and Misu, and Red as our DM. I'm also part of a campaign called Misfits, which is led by Tatsu. And then me, Ara, Kitty, Leah, and Leo are playing that. And I like both of them. But Ascendance of a Bookworm kind of gave me an idea that I really want to host my own world again. So in the past, I made my own world. I spent 8 years working on that. And then I lost all my files due to clumsiness of myself. And now I had a new idea, a new kind of world. And that's what I've been working on. I've been writing my new D&D world. And a campaign tied to that. And I go into way too many details. Can I even share it? Or would this work better? Nope. Hi, Taleb. Okay, so let's move my chat back here. Thank you for the hat pads. Okay. First off, I am way too big right now. There we go. I'm very small. I'm sorry there's no proper overlay yet. That will happen in the future. You're gonna sleep? Okay. You have a lovely sleep. Oh, 3 a.m. Right. Because I just got off work. So for those that are here, welcome to the Kingdom of Elendor. If you ask me how I came up with that name, I don't know anymore. Hydrate. I will hydrate. So it's the Kingdom of Elendor. It's a kingdom that has a giant magical barrier as a border, and the world outside of it is basically dead. Evil has destroyed the world except here. So if you want to know the story, if you want to know the background, Chaos tried to destroy the world. until only one survivor remained, called Christine. Um, the seven supreme gods asked or begged their mother, the goddess of divinity, to protect this world. So the goddess of divinity possessed the body of the last survivor and created the barrier. Afterwards, and the barrier protects all of it against chaos. And the seven supreme beings spread their seven elements, throughout the kingdom, which created new life, new people, and that's how the new kingdom came to be. 3,400 years ago. The oracle, or the Christine, the person who was possessed, is now known as the oracle, the highest clergy and highest ranking person in the entire kingdom. And then she's the person who will crown kings and queens. And then the king or queen will, rule the nation or rule the kingdom itself. There are different duchies. They're all quite large. If you're from Europe, at least, it's quite large. Each will have a duke, and they will have counts who will rule the other cities in a duchy, and they're connecting towns and villages. And my campaign takes place in Esenfar. $3,400 after the kingdom was destroyed. Now, some people may know me as a perfectionist. So making a couple of versions of this map was not enough for me. I ended up making even more. I made a new one quite recently, actually. But it also meant that every duchy now has a different shape, a different position, including Esenfar, which is now bigger and on the left. Hi, kitty. So Esenfar has moved from the right, where it looked kind of squarish, to being a proper big duchy on the left. It's still going to be the same campaign. They're still going to go to the same places, but it looks a bit different. I can't tell you much about the campaign because whatever I say is going to spoil it, but I can talk about the world. So, I have a lot of documents, including a player Bible. They don't have clocks, or at least commoners don't have clocks. They have bells, which was inspired by Ascendance of a Bookworm. The entire barrier was inspired by Ascendance of a Bookworm. Can't help it. I love the show. By the way, that show is getting a fourth season before summer. But yeah, they work with bells, like church bells. So first bell is at 4 a.m. is when the commoners wake up, at least the ones that, work. And around 9 or 10 p.m., they go to bed because, they have to wake up at 4 a.m. There's one religion, and then with this religion, they worship the seven supreme beings. Religion is very, very important because The gods, they literally know the gods exist, and this world would not exist without them. So pretty much everyone is connected to one of these deities. I could go into every detail, but first off, currency. There's money. Of course there is. But people who know how extra detailed I go, or, you know, a step further, I don't use the normal D&D currency. Normal D&D currency is basically copper, silver, gold. That's the only ones people care about. I went a bit further. There's a small copper, a large copper, a small silver, a large silver, and then a small gold and a large gold in mine. Basically, a small silver is worth one gold piece in normal D&D, but then a large gold is worth 1,000. That's the very, very expensive stuff. Like, the gold pieces is stuff that commoners will likely never ever hold in their hand because it's too much. They may not even they may have never seen a gold piece. And like I said, I go a bit. I'm a bit extra. So Kitty, if you're still here, this morning I commissioned someone to draw me the gold pieces. I commissioned someone to draw me the actual coins. Because that is how extra I go. Thank you, Taleb, for accepting my commission. Of course, there is my faith with my custom deities, my custom calendar, because I'm not going to use human days because we're not on Earth in this campaign. We have 7 seasons, 70 days per season, which makes for 490 days in total. Every god is tied to a season, which is tied to an element. And as you can probably see, the number 7 is quite important. Because, 7 weeks, or 10 days in a week, 7 weeks in a season, 7 seasons in a year, 7 gods. The one thing I did not alter is 24 hours in a day because that feels like a nightmare. I'm not gonna, alter time itself. So, like I said, I remade the kingdom map, which also meant that the map of the duchy itself, which used to be this, which I still like. I still like all the color. It's still very, very pretty. But all of this changed. Since the duchy got reshaped, this is the new map. And as you can see, I'm not finished with it. And I don't need to be yet, because D&D develops over time. And if I try to make all of it right now, I won't have any room to add new and interesting details on the map. Plus, if I try to finish everything before we start, honestly, I wouldn't have we would still wait another 2 or 3 years if I did that. Just like I did with the other campaign I was planning for. I was trying to make it so big that by the time I lost all my files, I wasn't even done yet, and I was 8 years in. But this is the new map. It's called the Duchy of Asuna, which sounds very German. And it has 5 provinces. You have the central province, you have Yoitsu, which thank you Spice and Wolf for the inspiration. Then we have Ilner, thank you Ascendants of a Bookworm. And then we have Margras, which is the breadbasket of the duchy. And then we have more over here, which will be revealed in the future. I have no idea what else to explain about my campaign, other than that we're using Foundry with like over 80 different plugins. This is their landing page where they can see all the characters, the inventory, the maps. And a very, very extensive journal. I'm not going to click because most of it is going to reveal information. And some of it is not filled in yet. But this is the lore. The moment a player meets someone, they can see their appearance and all of that stuff. Let's see. So they meet a person, and then that person now has a page on the lore sheet that they can read. But if another player hasn't met that person, then that person will not show up on their lore page. So I like writing, session notes. A lot of it actually. But sometimes I have to write so much that I can't keep up, and I'm gonna miss stuff or I'm gonna write stuff incorrectly. And then I share my notes with the rest of the party. With this, I hope my players don't have to write as much. Because they can find it right here. If they've met that person, they will see it. Then we have the maps, which all of you have already seen. Then we have my private journal, this one is just for me. Every player has their own private journal. And then there is the shared journal. This is the journal that everyone can see. So let's say you're making notes for the session. This would be quite a handy place. What else did I forget? Okay, a very important one, elements. So the 7 gods have 7 elements. Every person, every monster, every being, even nature itself, is made up of one or multiple elements. And that means that you're connected to that element, which also means you're connected to the god that governs that element. You could be born with the light element or with the water element. And because somebody may be connected to the water element, they can pray to the gods of the water element and then hopefully get a blessing in return. I don't know what else to say about my upcoming campaign apart from that I didn't even specify or tell you the name. It's called Elendor by Nightfall. Because, of the kingdom called Elendor, and something is going to happen at Nightfall. You'd have to wait to find out what exactly is gonna happen. The players are Ara, Kitty, no, Ara, Cardi, Kitty, Newt, and Pierre. They will be my 5 main players. And then there is a 6th slot for a possible guests, a possible new permanent member in the future. So I have not just commissioned Salab for art for the coins. I've also told Dawn that I want some music for specific scenes that 100% will happen. Custom music for this campaign. Custom maps, and a full custom campaign. So like I said, I go a bit overboard, but I really don't mind. I thought I would take longer doing all of this. But I've only been talking for half an hour. It was just going to be a talking stream. So if at any point someone has a question, please ask. The thing I was gonna do before this, until I got too excited about D&D again, because I keep talking about D&D. The things that are gonna change this year. Possibly a new model, maybe not maybe not yet. I still work, and I did apply for a higher position, which also means I have to work 10 more hours a week. So basically, I have to work an extra day. Yeah, I have to work. If I get that job, I have to work an extra day. That would give me an actual management job. So I'm not gonna stream too much. So I'm gonna limit myself to 3 streams a week. Every stream is gonna be around 3 hours. If I do an IRL stream, they're going to be longer. If I do a cooking stream, they're going to be shorter. If I do a collab or, let's say, D&D, they're obviously going to be longer than 3 hours. But normally it's going to be only 3 hours. It's going to be horror games. It's going to be cooking streams. It's going to be D&D. And once it's summer, it's going to be IRL streams. I'll walk around outside. And that's basically it. That's the biggest change. I'm gonna stream to both YouTube and Twitch every single stream. I actually went live on YouTube earlier today than on Twitch because my OBS is scuffed. Even though a self-professed master in OBS, I did not prepare my own OBS in time for today. So a lot of things will change on OBS, so on the stream as well. I'm even working on a little puzzle, and the puzzle is from a screenshot from that same stream. And then the viewers can do the puzzle while I am AFK, like when I'm on a be right back screen. I'm updating my bot. I think that's basically it. So there's going to be updates. Streaming is really just going to be a hobby for me. So I'm not going to take it as seriously as I may have done in the past. I'll reopen my management business probably around March. And I'm gonna stream 3 times a week for 3 hours each. And that's it. And if you like horror games, then you're at the right address, because I'm mainly gonna be playing my horror games. And I don't know if I talked about it already, but I'm gonna limit myself for 3 days a week, because one, I work, and sometimes I'm really, really tired from work. I want to have time to spend with friends, loved ones, actually catch up on some anime, possibly edit some videos, and spend a whole lot of time working on D&D. Because while I've been writing a lot for this campaign, there's pages and upon pages and pages in Obsidian for stuff about shops, NPCs, stuff that would happen in the world, little scenes that could happen. And I forgot where I was going. Oh, right. I'm gonna work on lots of D&D. I'm far from finished. And I hope to give my players an awesome story. But that requires a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and stuff that I cannot do on stream, because that would spoil the surprise. And I think that's it. And I wish I streamed longer than 40 minutes. 40 minutes is way too short. I was hoping to stream like 2 hours at least. But I've said everything I wanted to say. Maybe I was a bit too nervous. Maybe I talked a bit too fast. Again, I was also not prepared. I was just gonna do a comment, like I'm back stream, not play a game and just talk. And I did not really plan what I was going to talk about apart from, D&D. So without taking up any more of your time, and it feels very weird to say that after 40 minutes, but yeah, I know, Nude. I know. But it still feels very short, Normally I stream for at least a couple hours, and now I'm ending in 40 minutes. But, if there were any questions, then I can answer them now or in Discord. And I hope I sort of explained my D&D world without spilling any of the story. Apart from that, the party will actually start in the city of Ilner. And we're gonna play on the 24th of January 2026. It feels weird that it's already 2026. But yes, in about 1.5 weeks, they'll be playing. And that's just the commoner side. So that would be Newt, Pierre, and Kitty. And who knows what's gonna happen. Are we gonna do a long stream? Are we gonna do a short stream? Or a session. If we do a long one, we could finish the entirety of chapter 1 in a single stream, depending on how fast everyone is. Because until the beginning of, I mean, 3 guys for you, not for me, but only at the beginning of chapter 2 will all party members come together. And that was a yawn. Because I'll be honest, I worked hard today. I'm tired from work. I was busy at work. So if there's no more questions, I will see you all on Thursday. And then I'll be streaming next week. And then the third stream of next week is going to be that Saturday, the 24th, when we're playing session 1 of D&D. And I'm very, very excited. There we go. I'm going to leave all of you right here. I'm not prepared for a raid or anything like that. My OBS is still very, very scuffed after I basically ripped out half of it last night. Have a good night. Go play some games if you have time. Go relax. And I'll see you all in 2 days.